Well, hello everyone, and welcome to your We Believe in Freedom Monday night team call. We're so glad that you could join us, and it is April 6th, 2020. So first, just mute yourself. If you have some questions or some comments, use that little chat feature at the bottom there, and we'll take care of you. I'm Ariana Munker, and I'm speaking to you from my staying safe at home in the Hollywood Hills of Los Angeles, California. And we gather once a week, and we've been gathering more often than that even, and I'm sure all of you have too, but we want to be here for you guys, because we want to be here to help you, share the victories, inspire each other, and just learn a thing or two on how to maneuver our lives so that we can still stay connected and loving the purpose that we were brought here to experience, right? Now, it is a real honor of mine. I would love to introduce to you the woman who makes these calls possible through all the experiences we're having together. Now, she is an Isagenix Legacy Club member. She's 8-star platinum, 6-star crystal executive. Oh my gosh, she's done so much for so many people's lives. But these days, she's been creating breakthroughs around our Isagenix opportunity, how to easily create income in these uncertain times. So it is my real honor to hand this call over to Kathy Helwig.
Thank you, Ariana. That's really sweet of you. I just revel in your introductions. Well, gosh, so many people are really feeling a little shaky in these uncertain times. This is really unprecedented circumstances that what we in the world are going through. And the thing about it though is that we're so blessed to be part of Isagenix at such a time as this. I listened to Kathy Coover over the weekend, and she shared how Isagenix, how the infrastructure is rock solid. I mean, they've planned it from the beginning. They've planned to keep Isagenix secure and solid. And inventory is good, production is continuing, shipments are arriving on time. That just blows me away. You know, everything is working. Celebration has been switched from a live event in Salt Lake City to a virtual event online with no cost to us. So make sure that you mark your calendars for July 16th through the 18th and block the time out to watch every minute of it, because it's going to be great. Another thing that they're doing, they have donated $1.25 million in products to various nonprofits that are helping in the cause to feed children and just support people around this economic issue. They even donated 580 ISA blenders. I mean, it's just amazing. They put together training calls this week, and they had one earlier with Lindsay Hofberg that was awesome on how to launch a new business. Tomorrow they've got another one called Timeout Tuesday. That's going to be at about 5 o'clock Pacific with Susan Miller and Kathy Coover and Susan Sly. And then on the 9th, which is Thursday, at what's that? 4 o'clock Pacific. Why Diets Don't Last and the Isagenix Solution. And that's with Taylor Malham. So I think Lynn probably, she's so up to date on these things. She probably has already posted these announcements on our business group. So take a look at that and mark your calendars. You know, take advantage of the time that you've got during this time to really dig into the Isagenix business. Isagenix is making it so easy. And remember, you know, we've got the perfect storm of being able to solve people's problems, of needing extra income and wanting to improve their health. So you can't ask for a better time than this to really dig in and build your business. So what I want to do is I want to talk about something that really came up this morning, a comment that someone made about their beliefs about money. And I thought it was really timely. because our money blueprint can be a real blind spot. And when we have a belief that we've always had, because it came out of our conditioning, it's often difficult for us to recognize that it's a faulty belief. It's part of us. It's like, well, my parents believed that, right? And if we don't become aware of it and change it, it will prevent growth in our business. And God bless you. So anyway, our conditioning is the first place to look in order to become aware of it. And I'll just share a little bit about my story, and some of you have probably heard it. I grew up in a very poor family. We were borderline poverty, 8 children. My dad was an auto mechanic, so it was not easy for him to feed 8 mouths. And, I heard almost on a daily basis, no, we can't afford it. And that was a conditioning, Another conditioning that I was given was my dad would say, and I never thought of this as a negative, but my dad would say, we may not have money, but we do have love, which is very sweet. But the brain can turn that into money is bad, love is good, right? So I had that kind of conditioning, and I became aware of it when I started with Isogenics and realized I had put a really low ceiling on my ability to create income. And so I really, getting into personal growth and money programs, I was able to start recognizing those right away. And, had I not, I would not have become an Isogenics millionaire. Just hands down, you have to make those changes in order to create that income. So I know some of you probably are aware of some of your blind spots that you may or may not have managed to turn around. Who wants to share a blind spot that you've discovered around money and prosperity? Kim.
You? No.
Oh, sorry. Kim raised her hand.
Literally. Hi, everybody. I was raised in a, kind of a typical Asian family where you have to work hard for your money. So I think that that's sometimes why I can make it hard for myself, because if it comes easy, then you're not working hard enough. You're slacking off. So that was a huge thing, and I really realized that because we grew up not in abundance, and it was always tight, right? So my dad was a student for 14 years getting his PhD. So I realized that I still hear that a lot with my mom.
Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline.
Yeah, I'll share mine. Actually, there's a couple of things that have been going on. One, with the, I would say all of us, but me in particular, believe that, life is certain. There's certain things in life that we know are going to happen. And then those things we don't know. But like just having this foundation, like, Eddie can go out and he can play music and people are going to their jobs. And, there was just this like flow every day, get up and do certain things. And with the coronavirus having us all on lockdown, that kind of pulled back the curtains for me for uncertainty. And I'll say for a lot of us, right, we're all kind of feeling a little, I'll say wobbly, like we thought we were maybe standing on rock and now we feel like we're standing on sand. So that was, part of it. So that was a blind spot that I saw, like, oh, wow, there is no certainty. There really isn't about anything. And so then that kind of had to kind of be with that for a little while, but that triggered a bunch of other things, right? So it's like, all these triggers can happen. And like you, Kathy, my parents were poor immigrants. So your parents weren't immigrants, but they didn't have a lot of money. So all those money conversations started coming up like, oh no, what about this? What about that? All these what ifs. So I found myself living in this what if world rather than the facts, the what's so. What's so is everything's all right. You know, there really isn't any danger, but you know, there's a part of my brain that's kind of like going into danger. And so that could have me be shut down. So that's why I'm kind of walking you through like what the process was for me to just to see like, okay, how do I like awaken all of that and then just live in anything can be created. So wrote a new card today and just keeping my mindset clear. So that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Anyone else want to share?
My experience with money was just enough or not enough. We were a family of 10, and my dad worked 2 jobs, and my mom did whatever she could to earn a little extra money. But the conversation about money was, it was like, when my dad was doing the bills, all the kids had to be quiet because my mom didn't want to disturb him because he was trying to figure out who you could pay this month with skipping, so that, you know, it was just, there was never an abundance. It was always a real issue that there was just enough to get by.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I worked with a gal years ago, and she shared her money story with me. Her dad had worked really, really hard and built up a business and then lost it all. You know, something happened, it failed, I don't know, but he lost it all. And she gained the belief that if you work really, really hard, you'll probably lose it. And so that was just a real sticking point with her, you know, and it took a lot of effort for her to change that mindset. So really, you know, examine what your money blueprint is, and ask the people around you, because we all have blind spots and we don't see them because they're blind spots, but the people around you can see them, and you just give them permission to you know, make you aware of them. You know, some people also have conditioning out of religious beliefs. And what I can say about that is God is an abundant God, and he is glorified when his people prosper. And you can't, you know, you can't help people if you're not prospering, right? And that's what God's all about. And so believing otherwise really goes against the laws and principles of prosperity. And so, like Madeline, you want to start changing that belief system. You know, write out your vision for what it is you really want. Write it out on cards. Read them every day. It is so key. So does anybody have anything they want to comment before I go on? Okay. So now I want to talk about being an entrepreneur. What's the definition of an entrepreneur? So number one, an entrepreneur solves problems, right? And they bring added value to others. An entrepreneur has a servant heart. Remember, we can only prosper by serving and adding value to others. An entrepreneur has less to do with how you receive income and more to do with your heart posture. And double-mindedness won't work. You can't have your feet, you know, in 2 different places. It's like having one foot on the gas pedal and the other foot on the brake. So it's really important to get real clear on the value of what you're offering, and to be able to receive the money for that value. Receiving is key. You know, some people just can't receive. And you can recognize those people when you pay them a compliment and they can't receive it. Well, if they can't receive a compliment, chances are they can't receive money either, easily. So there's a blind spot that you can help them with. So the number one business strategy of an entrepreneur is love. Make people more valuable to you than money, and the money will come. People will never even consider going somewhere else when they experience your heart.
Kathy, I just want to step in for a moment because that's so big. I mean, I want to think that I come from love, and I come from love when money doesn't occur as being attached to the conversation. Oh, I'm all about love. How much can I do for you? But when money slips in, like an exchange of products or something that I would recommend that I might benefit from, oh my gosh, it's like, what happens in my brain? It gets this odd wiring where it's not okay that I can ask for that and be rewarded, right? It's not okay that what I offer them might actually be more, and they might get compensated more than what I'm, asking them to give to me. So it's just this funny thing when it seems like there's no money exchanged, and that's just a conversation too, right? When there's no money exchanged, I'm good. I'll give you my house. But if we have to talk about money, then it's like, ooh, gosh, I get weird about it.
Yeah, so that's why we really want to be clear on the value that we're providing people, and chances are they're getting more value out of it than you are. Really. So that's something good to work on. And if your heart is full of wounds, then you're really operating at a low capacity. So that's where the personal growth comes in. You've got to get those wounds healed. And so again, we often don't know we have those blind spots, but others see those blind spots. The other people around us, our team members, our family members, our friends. Chances are our family members actually probably have those blind spots too, right? But allow those people in your life to, in fact, invite them to share with you if they see a blind spot, a lie that you believe that just isn't the truth, right?
Well, one thing I'd like to share is on the whole topic of entrepreneurship, because our school systems they train employees, and that's really from K to the end of college, if you go that far. And so I've been really looking at what the entrepreneur mindset is. You kind of shared a little bit about some of the things you've looked at, and here's just something I wrote up a while back. An entrepreneur has the vision to see what others can't, the courage to take actions where others won't, the motivation to solve the problems others don't see, and believe that the problem is theirs to solve, the mindset to work and play well with others, the will to lead from a place of service, the tools to create winning structures, the commitment to fail until they succeed, the belief that what they see in their mind will be in reality, and the desire to tell the story of the lessons of their journey with others.
Awesome.
But
Perfect.
what I've encountered, though, is that while that is the mindset, when people are faced with that mindset, most are confronted by, that's not them.
Yeah.
So how do we bridge that gap with ease?
Well, I think a lot of it is the education, just knowing, okay, if that defines an entrepreneur, how can I step into that? And what faulty beliefs do I have that are keeping me from stepping into that? It always goes back to finding out what those beliefs are. Awareness is the first key.
Yeah, and that's great. I think, but the inquiry of actually like even discussing what a blind spot is. I mean, I think a lot of people don't understand that concept alone. I mean, they can kind of go, okay, yeah, people have blind spots. We're talking about I have a blind spot. So I think that's perhaps helpful to define.
Yeah. Well, in this group, Madeline, you want to address that?
Well, I was just going to say, I think we really can't control what other people are going to believe or how they're going to, you know, what they're going to do. I think the main thing is if we are working on ourselves, and anybody who's here on this call obviously is working on themselves, so they're also trying to, come up with all of this. So I think that's the main thing is if we're working with other entrepreneurs, we can share some of these ideas, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to change them. But if we can take actions ourselves, I think it all boils down to taking actions. If we take actions maybe to support them, or we take actions for ourselves in our own business, even if our beliefs are kind of faulty, the more actions we take, the more evidence we get of, hey, that worked. Then the belief system starts to change. So just inquiring is great, but I think we just have to keep just taking an action, even if it's a tiny little baby step action.
Yeah.
That's, maybe it's one text, texting someone you might be a little nervous to text. I think that could make the difference.
Yeah, when you come up against fear, that's kind of a clue that there's something there to look at. But like Madeline said, no fear and do it anyway. When you just move forward with it, you suddenly find out, oh, why was I afraid? That I was believing something that was totally not true, right? So good.
Yeah, I think on the other side of the coin too, if you fail at whatever that action is, just be okay with it, because we're learning something new, and we're not going to be perfect. But you had a post today, Kathy, that I thought was great about being perfect and being excellent. Like, just work on being excellent. We can't be perfect,
Yeah.
and just do our best. And if we don't make it that time, we'll get another chance.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I wanted to talk about one more thing. And Alex, thank you for bringing that up. We've been in this conversation. This team has been in this conversation for months, if not years. So, and we will continue to be in this conversation, because I'm still discovering after all this time that I have blind spots, and so it needs to be, the conversation needs to keep going. So let's talk about sales. So are there blind spots around sales? Many of us, if not now, but at one time, maybe have had a negative thing about sales. Sales is slimy, it's scary, it's evil, but the truth is, sales is about helping someone get really clear and decisive about taking action in the direction that they want to go. A salesperson is just guiding someone. Maybe not a sleazy salesperson, but what we want to strive to be is somebody who just guides people to the decision to do something that they wanted to do in the first place, to accomplish something that they really wanted to accomplish. And how do you know where they want to go? By asking the right questions. And oftentimes when you ask the right questions, they actually answer it with the answer of where they want to go. And the sales piece of it is effortless when they already know where they want to go. You're just going to guide them in making the decision about how to get started.
Kathy, you guys just gave me an inspiration. Madeline, Alex, everyone on this call. So I just did a quick text. I know I'm not supposed to do that. We're on a call. I'm supposed to be focused, but I just texted and reached out to somebody who I've been in dialogue with for quite a while. He's gone on isogenics. He's gone off. He's gone on and gone off. So this is what I asked him. I said, hey, I'd like to talk to you tomorrow. I'm looking for people who want to upgrade their immune system, or they're looking to make some extra money because of this current situation. Would you be willing to mastermind with me?
Awesome.
That's
And
nice. I like
yeah,
that.
because it's an invitation not for him to do it. He doesn't, there's no burden on him, but I could use his help because, a mastermind, we're always better when two or more are gathered, right? So, and it opened up to me right on this call, the idea of a mastermind with somebody who knows me, wouldn't necessarily, I don't need to directly ask them. And I know that he's going to be generous. So thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, and he'll probably give you referrals if he's not up for it himself. That's awesome.
Do you guys remember the masterminding? Oh, what was it called? But it was in San Diego. And remember, we stepped into the I am. And so, as you guys were talking, I did a clearing with my friend who's a physical therapist, but she also does brain health. And so, I actually did a clearing, and one of my goals for work over at the Navy Hospital is that I go about my day peacefully and it's effortless and easy. And so, I can still remember my I am statement from many, many years ago. And that was one of the best trainings that I ever participated in. And my kids knew it. Everybody knew it. It was written on the mirror and in the car. But I really think it's who we're being. And so I just shared with somebody at work that just said, gosh, all this, sitting around, I've already gained a bunch of weight. And so I said, well, I think I might have a solution for you. And it was the excitement that I haven't felt in a very long time. But when I go back to that first initial 9-day, 11-day cleanse, it was who I was being that people, I think, were attracted to. So I think that's a really huge thing. You can't shift anybody else's being, but you can certainly shift your own.
Excellent. Yeah. Really go back. I mean, I'll never forget that first week on Isogenics. I felt euphoric. I hadn't felt that way in years, maybe never. And so when I go back to that time and how excited I was about it, and I just absolutely knew I was always going to continue putting these amazing products in my body for the rest of my life. That was a declaration that I made in my first week in Isogenics, and it hasn't changed. So let's all go back and revisit that. If you can't even remember, go do another 9-day.
And we can be such a light for people, not just with the health aspect and the, boosting your immunity, but also offering people hope for a financial solution. And I mean, I know there's a lot of believers on this call too. You just have to look at, I think, that higher power, whatever you believe in. And for me, it's God. But I think that there's no accident that this is happening right during the Lenten season. And to be brave about that too, to be sharing a peace and a hope for people, because people are freaking out right now.
Kim, that's so good because we were all forced, whether we chose it or not, to give things up, weren't we?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And it didn't look like the way it started out with Lent, right?
Sure,
I'm
because
on sugar, but I've given way other stuff up as well. So I think it's great.
well, so here's something I shared that I think someone else. It's kind of a rephrase, something I saw from a friend living the quarantine life. If you haven't improved yourself by the time this COVID-19 experience has come to an end, taken up a new hobby, kickstarted a dormant dream, grown emotionally, mentally, spiritually, it won't be because you didn't have enough.
Oh, Alex, you froze up. Say that again, the last part.
It won't be because you didn't have enough time. It's because you lacked discipline and encouragement.
Yeah. Discipline is so key. You can have all the dreams you want, but if you're not disciplined to do what it takes to make them happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Kathy, one of the great things is the principles, the disciplines to follow the principles, because the principles will show you what you need to do. You don't have to make it up. Like, you don't have to be creative that way. What you have to do, though, is know what the principles are and then follow them.
Yeah. So anybody, like Alex shared what he shared about an entrepreneur, and he put that in the chat. So if you wanted to copy that, and I did.
Yeah,
just
thanks.
in addition, like Kathy, you were mentioning about love and sales. I think the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, talks about love being the foremost when you talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Leadership
and
and self-deception. That was kind of the theme of that one as well.
yeah, and if anybody thinks they're not a good salesperson, we're selling all the time. We just don't think about it. When we were 16 and we wanted to borrow the keys to the car, we had to sell our parents on the fact that we'd be safe and, get the car home okay. So it really is, as you said, a lot of times it's just enrolling people in doing what they already want to do, just having them see that. I think that is definitely what a good salesperson is they're just a good listener. They're asking questions or listening and helping that person see what they want.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for sharing. This is really good. I want to just leave you with, just really become aware of where your thoughts go. To think is to create, right? Your thoughts create your life. And so think about where your thoughts go around the subject of money, around the subject of sales, really around anything. It's a good practice to get into throughout your day, around the subject of making your bed, and just start becoming more aware of that and be in action. Like I said, we're in the perfect storm right now. You don't have a better opportunity. Up until now, we have never had a better opportunity. And so let's just really knock it out and decide today that this is something that you're going to really be disciplined with and create what it is you want. Set a goal for the week, a goal that could be number of conversations, it could be number of enrollments, it could be number of rank advancements, it could be something around your business. Set a goal and have a blessed week. Love you guys.
Thank you, Kathy. That was great.
Thank you guys. Love you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jeff. Night.